Hello, welcome to the afternoon session. I have the pleasure of taking you through some of the speakers who are talking on very interesting legal and compliance and regulatory topics. So first up, with his keynote on combating human trafficking, is Beat Lehmann from MROS, which is the Money Laundering Reporting Office of Switzerland.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Beat Lehmann. I'm a lawyer and I work as a finance analyst at MROS. The role of AML in combating trafficking in human beings, THB. We did a project called FIAT, Financial Intelligence Against Human Trafficking. I will speak about that in a minute. First, please allow me to talk about trafficking in human beings in general. The purpose of trafficking in human beings is always financial gain. Estimates say there is a profit of around 230 billion US dollar annually, which makes it like the third profitable crime behind drug dealing and dealing with weapons. Approximately 50 million people are victims of human trafficking. Internationally and also in Switzerland, in Criminal Code Article 182, there are 3 forms named as subcategories of human trafficking. It's the sexual exploitation, often in prostitution. This is the labor exploitation, and it is organ deal. Organ deal is, so far, we are not aware of cases in Switzerland, so I cannot say it does not exist, but we are not aware of it. I think it's safe to say that THB is everywhere. Even though when I spoke to a prosecutor from a canton lately, she told me that in her canton, THB does not exist. With all due respect, I disagree. I'm pretty sure that THB is everywhere in Switzerland. Prosecutions are need a lot of resources and usually the statements of a victim. That's why it's very hard to do prosecutions in THB cases. We know that most of the money, or a lot of money in THB, is cash transactions. But even though with more than 200 billion a year, some of the money go through financial system. And there we hope to find it with Project FIAT. So what did we do? We organized roundtables mainly with authorities. We had working groups with different stakeholders like law enforcement, also financial intermediaries. The financial intermediaries tested for some indicators to find the money, and we made an operational alert with indicators as the centerpiece of it. We focused on follow the money. As I said, a part of THB money goes through financial system. Therefore, it leaves a trace, and that's what we are trying to find. Trying to find by sensitizing the financial industry to THB issues. We would like to learn about how it works, when is somebody exploited. It's not that easy. We are still strengthening the cooperation with the financial industry, with the Financial Intelligence Unit, which MROS is also one, and also the cooperation between authorities. So why did we FIAT? There is a large discrepancy between file SARS, STRs, suspicious transaction reports, and the real scale of this crime. naturally, the financial intermediaries play a very important role in combating THB because there are the financial transactions. They are sometimes in contact with the victims, sometimes with the perpetrators, or at least they see the flows. As I said, there is a discrepancy. We had only a few reports with THB, based on THB, more sexual exploitation than labor exploitation. Current phenomena are nearly not present in the STRs. Companies are not present in the STRs, and often there is a lack of clarity, and the reports do not have enough information for us. So one of the main things we did with FIAT was to define indicators. We had from other FIUs, for example, Canada, an example. They did the same project or a similar project a few years ago with pretty great success. So we could also take their indicators and adapted it to Swiss indicators. We have 3 different categories defined. This is the KYC indicators. KYC indicators, there it's helpful to think about what is a free person doing, how are transactions from a free person, how are they observed, compared to a person who is not free. For example, a KYC indicator is, I quote, the customer's home address, email address, or telephone number are linked to negative media coverage of human trafficking and related offenses. Media coverage of the client's activities, connection with human trafficking and related offenses. There are also transactional indicators, such as transactions between persons suspected by being involved in human trafficking or related offenses. Incoming payments indicate that this person provides sexual services to an extremely high number of people on a daily basis, for example, no breaks, days off, or receives money for services provided by others. We have also behavioral indicators, and there the financial intermediary can observe indications by meeting the customers due to onboarding online or online banking. This goes back, this becomes less frequent, with the exception of money transmitters maybe. Behavioral indicators could be, I quote, the customer is always accompanied by someone to the bank, payment service provider for no apparent reasons. The accompanying persons insists on carrying the customer's documents or money. Signs of exercising emotional control over a person. We have 2 subcategories. We have red indicators. When a red indicator exists, that means to us we automatically report to law enforcement. The ones I did read before are red indicators. We have also yellow indicators, which means they are less strong. They could also come from legal activity, which is one of the big problems. In Switzerland, for example, prostitution is not forbidden, and sometimes it's very hard to distinguish between legal and illicit activity. That being said, it's for the financial intermediaries, it's a task to find out, to implement these indicators in automated reporting. A problem also is that THP, pardon me, that the amounts in THP are often very low, and this does not trigger an alert when doing compliance. Let's make a case study. We had a report. This is a real report. There are several persons. There is a beauty salon. There were a lot of cash deposits, private account, money came in, money went out, prompt cash payouts, which is an indicator, prompt cash payout abroad, electronic transfers for adult entertainment, commercials and rent payments, and so on. With database from our side or with information from the financial intermediaries, and also with open source, we found out that indicators here in this case are, as I said, frequent cash deposits, transfers of relatively small amounts of money, alignments of account in city X with corresponding cash withdrawals in city Y, as well as foreign cash withdrawals in high-risk countries, repeated and frequent payments for adult entertainment advertisement, connection to red line milieu. Involved persons are listed in police databases due to DHB, use of forged documents, invoices, and suspicious contradictory behavior in the CP, here in the beauty salon. The in-depth analysis of payment flows and account movements follow the money strategy can make a significant contribution to the detection of illegal activities and the identification of victims in this area of crime. In addition, cooperation between financial sector, FIUs, law enforcement, and NGOs is essential to effectively combat human trafficking. Important is also the quality of the STRs, but this is a different topic I will not mention here. The role of AML in combating THP can be strengthened by sharpening to know what the partner, what the other stakeholders need to get started, for example, by using information from NGOs, by knowing what the partners from private sector and authorities need to get started, or in two words, strengthening cooperation. Together, we can make a difference. Are there any questions or comments?
Under Swiss law, extraterritoriality judicial precedent, are you or can you kind of go after people abroad then now who are involved in human trafficking, people I know in whichever countries who are basically bringing people to Switzerland, or can you prosecute people outside Switzerland based on evidence from Switzerland in this case?
We work together with foreign FIUs, foreign financial intelligence units. We usually cannot prosecute somebody abroad. If it's a Swiss person and doing the crime abroad, then we can. This is possible. And but if he's outside, you can also prosecute it here in Switzerland. But maybe. Yeah, and as you say, it's a very international crime, trafficking human beings. So there is a lot of victims are very much mobile, and one day they are in this country, another day in another country, and yeah.
But it's a foreign person doing something abroad, but you have the evidence in Switzerland.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I think yes.
But you haven't done that so far?
That's not we do not prosecute ourselves, our office. We just report to law enforcement.
Who do you report to Switzerland?
or to the kantonale Staatsanwaltschaften. Yes, and human trafficking is in a cantonal. Is always cantonal. Yes, except for some exceptions. Yeah. So my time is up. So thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Beat.